right, I want to say shalom. I'm going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. In salutation to Yakim, pushing his word with truth and sincerity on the four winds of the earth. Shalom. All right, I'm Brother Gabar Karash. Abaratazah. This lesson be edifying, man. I'm going to just go into, dive into it, man, on how our people became Gentiles. Because you have Brother Malcolm that actually went into it this morning, man. You know, it was, and that's the spirit, because it was on my spirit to do a lesson, a show on this, man, since yesterday, man. All right, really since the beginning of this week, but I'm just now really getting a chance to get around to it, man. And I'm just gonna dive straight into it and basically and give our people understanding on the scriptures that you have these Christians bring out to try to justify them, saying all nations can be saved or delivered, or salvations for every nation, when that's a complete lie. That's why we teach the truth of the scriptures, man. We teach that salvation is only for the Israelites, man. All right, and by the end of this lesson, Lord willing, man, you brothers, man, and the Akim and the Akwath that might be watching, be edified on these things, man, because people like to go to Galatians 3, and you know where we're going is the 28th chapter, man, where it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, all right? There's neither bond nor free, there's neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. All right, so so if you unlearned in the scriptures, man, you will read this and you be like, well, this is pertaining to every nation. This is pertaining to all nations. Well, this don't even say all nations in here. This says there's neither Jew nor Greek. All right, so that what you got to go into, and if you go into that word Greek, is actually Hellenist. All right, because our people was Hellenized, man. All right, we was actually when we was into the captivity of the Grecians. All right, they made our people denounce being Israelites, man. They had to say that they was Greeks. All right, and Romans. All right, so that's how our people became Gentile, and a lot of our people don't know, man, because they don't look up words, man. They don't go to definitions and go to different texts where it actually gives you an explanation why they put this word Greek in here. It's basically talking about another Israelite, because our people was under captivity to the Grecians at this time, man. Our people, you had the southern kingdom that was in captivity to the Assyrians, and they took on all their customs and all the iniquity that they was doing. All right. So by them doing that and being removed from the land hundreds of years, we lost our heritage, man. So we, just like now, our people would consider themselves as American. This is the same. This is the same thing, man. All right. Our people we're taking on the ways of these other nations. So therefore, we will be called Gentiles. We'll be called Greeks. We'll be called Americans. But is that our true nationality? No. Most of our people will identify themselves as African Americans, but you are a Israelite. All right. You just don't know it until somebody wakes you up to who you are, if it makes any sense. Let's read 29. It says, and if ye be your Hamashiach, then ye are Abram's seed and heirs according to the promise, man. So this is basically telling you, man, if you be Abraham's seed, that you are heirs according to the promise, man. So we know the Greeks wasn't Abraham's seed, man. All right. We know the promise go through a specific bloodline, and if you come back down in the same chapter, you jump down to like the 16th verse. Yep, let's start at the 15th verse. It says, brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant, yet it be confirmed. No man disannulleth or addeth thereto, man. So nobody's going to disannul the promises, man, that was meant for a particular people. because you want to come with your Christian breakdowns and your God loves everybody and everybody can receive salvation. Madness, man. All right, that's what you people come up with, man. You can't disannul what the Most High has already said from the beginning. All right, He already gave the promises through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can't disannul that, man. All right, verse 16, it says, now to Abraham and his seed, all right, seed were the promises made. He said, not into seeds as of many. So not if everybody that came out of Abraham's loins, all right, was given a promise, man. All right, and it says, but as of one, into thy seed, which is Hamashiach, man. So it was talking about through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man, because Abraham had more than Isaac. All right, he also had Ishmael, which became a great nation. Man, it's a lot of nations came through Abraham, but the promise is only for the nation of Israel, man. All right, and we're gonna get into it, and let's go to Romans, man, because Peter actually spoke about Paul's writings, man. They would be hard to understand for those who rest with the scriptures, for those who are unlearned, man, roughly paraphrasing. But you got to line it up precept upon precept to get the understanding of the Gentiles, man, of the Israelite foreigners. All right, you have the actual Gentiles, and you have our people who was considered Gentiles because we took on the customs of the other nations, just like our people celebrate Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the customs of America, man. They vote, they will be considered Gentiles, man. But those of our nation who's woken up to the fact that they're Israelite, you're not a Gentile anymore. And that's what basically Paul was doing, man. When he was sent out to be apostle to the Gentiles, he was sent out to our people who were scattered abroad, man, who lost it, because it was prophesied that we will lose our heritage, man. All right, and I'll get that precept here in a minute. All right, and this is Romans 9, and let's start at 4. It says, let's start at 3. It says, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, all right, who are Israelites. So Paul, most people think Paul was a Roman, all right, but he was actually Israelite, man. All right, and he tells you that in Romans the 11th chapter, man. So you got to get, especially when you coming into this truth, brothers that might be a stumbling block for some brothers. That might be a question that brothers might ask first coming into this truth, man. Your first month to 6 months, you come into this truth, that can be a stumbling block for some people. But because they took the apocrypha up out of the scriptures, all right, that's where you have to go to get that understanding why our people and how our people became Gentiles, man. Even though you have the understanding in the Bible, but it breaks it down and gets a little bit more in detail in the apocrypha, all right? But let's finish reading. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. All right, so the Israelites pertaineth the adoption, not you other nations. It says, who are Israelites. So a lot of people like to say, a lot of Christians, all right, like to say, well, you Gentiles like to say that you can be adopted in, man. You other heathen nations. No, remember that we read in Galatians that it says it's seed as if not as many, but as one. Remember we read that. So that's what the promise is pertaining to. And Paul gets a little bit more in detail here in Romans. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory in the covenants, the old and the new covenant, all right, in the giving of the law, in the services of Yahweh, in the promises, man. So when you read that all pertains to the Israelites. So when you read in Galatians where it says it's neither Jew nor Greek, free nor bond, all right, that's talking about Israelites, man. Because if it was talking about everybody, it would have just said why would it just say no Jew nor Greek? Why didn't it say or Hamites or Moabites, all right, or Ammonites? Why didn't it mention all these different other nations, all right? Egyptians, why didn't it mention them? Because it's not talking about that, man. It's talking about Israelites, all right, who was referred to as Greeks because they was it was a Hellenization period, man, when Alexander the Greek came into power, man. All right. And we're going to get that in the Apocrypha. But let's finish reading here in Romans. The 9th chapter says, who are the fathers of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came. All right. So this is plain and day that the Lord only came for the Israelites, man. All right. It says, who is over all Yahweh power, blessed forever. Amen. All right. Let's keep reading. It says, not as though the word of Yahweh have none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel, right? Because we know 2/3 of our people must perish, man. You're not considered an Israelite because you won't come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. And this is breaking it down here too, because it says they're not all Israel which are of Israel. So all of Israel is not Israel. Wow. What would keep, if you're an Israelite, what would keep you from being Israel? From being a 2/3, man, falling after the other ways and customs of these other nations, that will keep you from being an Israelite, even though by blood you are an Israelite, all right? But you're not blood by you're not Israelite by through the sacrificing, man. Make your body a living sacrifice and keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. So that's how not all Israel is not of Israel, all right? And it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called, man. All right, so that's plain and day. So that gives better understanding on Galatians, the 3rd chapter. All right, when it says neither Jew nor Greek. All right, when it says as seed as of one and not as of many. That this is the precept to break that down. Then it says verse 8. It gets a little bit more, it breaks it down, gets a little bit more in detail. It says, neither because, I started 7 again, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. But is they, Salakia, that is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of Yahweh, but the children of the promise are accounted for the seed, man. So the children of the flesh are you other nations, man. Everybody outside of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, everybody outside the Israelites, man, the 12 patriarchs. Everybody outside of that are the children of the flesh, man. So these are not the children of the promise, man. But the children of the promise are accounted for the seed, man. You're children of the flesh if you're not an Israelite. So that gives you a breakdown of why it says what it says. But why were our people in the first place referred to as Greeks or as Romans or these other nations? Because it was prophesied that we were. Matter of fact, yep. Let's go there, man. Let's go to Jeremiah. It was prophesied that we would lose our heritage, man. All right. This is Jeremiah 17:4 says, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. All right. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever, man. So we pissed the Most High off, man. So it was prophesied that we would discontinue from our heritage, man. And Jeremiah, that proves reincarnation as well, because Jeremiah, he died knowing he was an Israelite, man. He died knowing he was an Israelite, so this was a future prophecy. This proves that it's reincarnation because he said, even thyself, Jeremiah, you're going to discontinue from the heritage that I gave thee, man. Meaning our people was going to be calling themselves African Americans, Greeks, Romans, all right, all these other bywords, Mexicans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Cubans, all these different bywords that they put on us, man, African Americans. This is what this passage is talking about, man. But why does it say that? Because if you got to go back even before that, you go to Deuteronomy. All right, and I'm kind of moving fast through these scriptures, man. But I'm gonna break it down for you, man, as I go. All right, this is let me see. Yep, because it was all prophesied. That's why everything gotta make sense, man, as you read the scriptures, man. Because you gotta go back, you know, and put precept upon precept. Why will we be discontinued from our heritage? Why are we calling ourselves Greeks when it says the promises is only for the Israelites? So you got to have this understanding, man. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28, and these are simple milk scriptures, man. You learn when you first come into the truth. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 64 says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." Man, that wood and stone is going into Christianity, man, and Islam. All right, because people go to make the Hajj or whatever it's called around Mecca or whatever the hell it is, man. I know they go praise a rock, man. They go walk around a rock, kiss it, and praise it. All right. That's what it means, wood or stone. That's that stone that it's speaking about. And that wood is going into Christianity, where they basically got when they got the cross up in the church, man. That's representing that Christianity, man. All right. But we'll be scattered amongst all nations, man. So it was prophesied. That's how we lost our heritage. Just like if we go back to Jeremiah 17 and 4, it's going to say the same thing we just read here in Deuteronomy. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies," which we just read, "in a land which thou knowest not." All right, so that's why we discontinued from our heritage, man, because we was scared. It was prophesied we was gonna be scattered among all nations, man. And when we got it should be pretty easy to understand, because that's like if somebody kidnapped your kids, right? And they take them to let's just say the Philippines or whatever. All right, and you know initially they might know their heritage and know who they are. They might know that, okay, I'm an Israelite or African American or whatever you want to say. They say through time after time, generation after generation, that kid grows up, has a kid, that kid has a kid, and so forth and so on through generations down the line. You're going to forget your heritage, man. That generation, that seed line is going to eventually say, look, I'm a Filipino or whatever the hell, you know, land you was raised in. All right. Hundreds of years later, you're going to be identifying as the people of that land. And that's what happened to our people. So that's where you get the concept from the Gentiles or who are Israelite foreigners who was called Gentiles, who referred to as Gentiles in the scriptures, man. All right. So let's get a further a more understanding. Let's go to the Apocrypha, man. All right. And I have my Apocrypha open right here. Let's just go to let's see where we want to start in the Apocrypha, man. Let's get it pulled up. Actually, we can let's start in our first Esdras 69. Let's see. Yep. It says the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land. All right, because while we just read that we was gonna be scattered among all these lands, we have not put away the people of the strange lands. All right, it says, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, meaning eating pork, celebrating all these different satanic holidays and rituals. All right, our people and customs, our people do these things, man. All right, and it says, the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, the Egyptians, and Edomites, man. So our people was pretty much mingled among all these different nations, man, taking on their customs. A lot of our people into that Kemet and thinking that Egyptology and all these different things, man. You got our people thinking, worshiping Buddha. Our people are into all kind of madness and wickedness. And this is what this is talking about. All right. In verse 70, it says, for both they and their sons have married with their daughters, all right, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. That's where you get confusion of face come in, all right? That's where you get our people sleep. That's why it mentioned their sons have mixed with their daughters, because the seed, it goes through the father, man. You determine your pedigree of who you are by your father. Your mother really doesn't count, all right? That's just like you take an apple seed and you plant it in China. It's not going to be a China apple seed. It's still going to be an apple seed, all right? And the man carries the seed. He carries the sperm. So it don't matter who the man lays down with. Any women of the other nations, the child might come out and have features of that other nation. Just say, for instance, Israelite, you sleep with a Chinese woman, all right? That child's going to come out having features of the mother, but it's still an Israelite. And through generation after generation, if that kid continues to sleep with a Chinese woman, if that seed continues to sleep with Chinese women and their seed after them, after a while, they're just going to look Chinese. All right, you're not even going to know that this actual seed line is still an Israelite. That's why we said all of our people look like the other nations. Some of our people, because we mix with the other nations, and and that's where you get confusion of faces from. All right, and let's finish reading verse 7. It says 70. Both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the ruler and the great men have been partakers of iniquity, man. So we've been partakers of iniquity, man. That's why we try the spirit by the spirit, because we do have our people who's a confusion of face, man, who's of these other nations. But this spirit, this truth bear witness with their spirit. That's how we know that they're Israelites. They with everything that the scriptures say. That's how we know that we can determine that they're Israelites, man. All right. And that's really, I just brought that out for edification, because that's really to show you that we was in the other land and we was worshiping the other nations. All right. And all their customs. And we mixed ourselves with their seed, man. And basically you get what you see, man. You get confusion of faces. All right. But, let's get back on point, man. Basically, I'm going to explain the Israelite foreigners. Yep, the Israelite, how our people became Gentiles, man. We're going to read it right here in the 2nd Maccabees, because during the Greek, when the Greeks came into rulership, all right, it was a Hellenization period when they was going throughout these different lands and conquering the world, when they was making everybody confess themselves and put away their customs to be called Greeks at this moment. And that's why in Galatians, Galatians 3, it says neither Jew nor Greek, all right? Let's finish reading. This is 2nd Maccabees 6:6. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, all right? Because that's one of our customs. It was to keep the Sabbath. So our people in captivity under the Greeks, we could not do that anymore, all right? It says, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. All right, so our people couldn't confess under the Grecians. We could not confess ourselves at all to be Jews, man. All right, so if we couldn't confess ourselves to be Jews, what did we have to call ourselves? Greeks. All right, Greeks. That's why it says neither Jew nor Greek. All right, and it says, and in that day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. All right. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen, all right, by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they would observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices, man. So our people, that's how we became Jews. We have to keep the customs and the sacrifices of the heathens, man. We couldn't keep none of our customs. So can you imagine? You used to keeping all the law, statutes, and the commandments, but then you're under a captivity where you can't confess to be a Jew. You can't keep none of the law, statutes, and the commandments, and you have to basically call yourself a Greek and keep all their customs. So you're going to raise it. It's going to get passed down on to your kids and kids, so forth and so on. So we have the Jews, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that was still in the land of Jerusalem at the time. We looked at the other nations, our people, as being one of the other nations. If you looked and walked and talked like a Greek, you was considered a Greek. If you was born in that land, you was considered a Greek. All right, so that's how we look. That's how things work at that time, man. So let's finish reading verse 9. And it says, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. All right. Then might a man have seen the present misery, man. So they was putting our people to death who wouldn't, take on the ways and profess themselves to be Gentiles, man, to be Greeks and keep their customs. So this is how our people, this is the history that this is why they took the Apocrypha out of the scriptures, because they didn't want our people to know that you are Israelite foreigner. You are the Israelite, and you're the Israelite foreigner who was who was calling yourself Greeks and Gentiles. So when you get to Paul, when it says I was apostle of the Gentiles, our people think that now all nations can make it. No, it's meaning that our people, we had the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. It was a split. All right, in the northern kingdom went in captivity to the Assyrians, man. All right, I'm just trying to make a long story short, because this is really not a quick. This is like a series that brothers will have to sit down and do on this particular topic. But to make a long story short, our people you had the northern kingdom that went into captivity to the Assyrians, and they took on all their ways and all their customs and all that, man. So Paul was sent out to those Israelite foreigners who did not know that they was Israelites, man. All right, that's why you had the Lord tell you. Let's basically yep, John 10. Is it John 10 and 16, I believe? Oh, let's see. Yep, it's John 10 and 16. It says, let's start at 14. It says, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. All right, so the Lord, that's plain. All right, so even if you read things that's confusing when it says neither Jew nor Greek, all right, when it says, when the Most High says, go out and teach all nations, baptizing them in the spirit of the Holy Ghost, roughly paraphrasing, it's talking about going to all nations, because our people was scattered among all nations. All right, so that you got to understand that. And this makes it clear. It says, I lay down my life for the sheep. So the Lord, who's the sheep? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. And it says, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. All right, so that other sheep which are not of this fold was talking about the northern kingdom, man, because most of the southern kingdom was still in the land at this time. All right, so he said he had other sheep not of this fold. And it says, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there should be one fold and one shepherd, man. So we're going to become one fold and one shepherd. So that where can you read about this prophecy at, man? You got to go to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, man. Let's go to Ezekiel 37, and let's just start around the 15th, man. Let's see what it says. Let's start at 21. It says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh. Matter of fact, let's start at 15, then we jump down to 21. It says, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick. All right, what you see, brothers, out there, we have that one, that the 12 tribe sign. It says, one stick, and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. So that's what you see with the 12 tribes sign. For those who say it's not prophesied in the scriptures, there you have it. It says, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in my hand. All right. So let's jump down to 21. So that shows you that what the Most High just said, he has sheep that's not of this fold, but we should come together as one. All right. That was his end goal. And you jump down to 21. It says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. All right. So we're gonna. That shows you. That goes to what the Most High, the prophecy, man. That we be scattered among all nations, where the Most High is going to gather us from, man. All right. Then it says, verse 22, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into kingdoms anymore at all. So there, that's what you get, the Israelite foreigner thing come in, the Gentile come in, neither Jew nor Greek. All right, because we're coming together as one. As you see, all nations, you got different camps that's waking up, but you know, we're coming together as one under Yahweh Shah. All right, even though some brothers might teach a slight different doctrine or have a different understanding on certain things, such as the mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble, you know, things like that. You know, the name, but for one, we're coming together as Israelites. We know that we're Israel, so that's how we're coming together as one. All right, even though it seemed like it's different camps and we're divided, but we actually coming together as one, man. All right, appointing ourselves one king, which is Yahweh Shah. All right, and let's keep going. Where was I about to go to from there? Let's go back to John, man. Let's go to John, where basically get some understanding on why. Well, better clarify to our people why they was called Gentiles, man. Yep, this is John 7:35. It says, then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So the dispersed was referring to you Israelites, man. The dispersed was referring to you Israelite foreigners, man. And I believe that precept was in Ezekiel 35th or the 36th chapter, man. And let's see if it was the 34th chapter. Let's see. This is 36th chapter. Let's see, man. Yep. This is Ezekiel 36 and 19. It says, "And I will scatter them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries, according to their ways and according to their doings, I judge them." So who's that dispersed that was among the Gentiles? So let's go back. Let's go back to John, and let's see who that dispersed were, because we got to get understanding on these scriptures, man, before we just jump out there and say that all nations will be can be saved, man. All right. Well, let's see those dispersed words. It says, "Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed?" There's that word dispersed again, all right? Diaspora, "among the Gentiles, and teach the Gentiles." So that shows you that our people was dispersed among the Gentiles, and they were called Gentiles because they took on them customs of them other nations and other lands, man. All right. So, there you have it. Lord willing, I do a part 2 to this lesson, because it's like, even though I covered everything, and you should be able to have an understanding on that for someone who's just coming into the truth. All right, but Lord willing, I might do part 2 on it, and just go into. Matter of fact, I did want to go to Google and read the definition of the Hellenization period, man. When Alexander the Greek came into rulership, man, it basically says Hellenization, or Hellenism, refers to the spread of Greek culture that had begun after the conquest of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BCE. One must think of the development of the Eastern Mediterranean really in 2 major phases. All right, so this is basically, and it's recorded in the scriptures. We read it, that our people wasn't able to profess themselves to being a Jew. All right, they had to profess themselves to being Greeks, Gentiles. All right, and take on their customs, man. And this is actually recorded in the scriptures, man. That proves the scriptures to be correct, man. So with that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule well. And salutation, Yuaki, pushing this word with truth and sincerity on the 4 winds of the earth. Shalom.